So I couldn't. It got to the point where I couldn't like really text anyone or call anyone, which is like defeating most of the main objects of a phone. And
Really?
yeah, so my mum installed this app on my new phone, and then apparently, then I noticed later on that I was getting like literally notifications from Elon Musk. It's like, Elon Musk has a new tweet. I was like, why am I getting notifications from Elon Musk? And I realized I had a new Twitter account, and it wasn't following anyone, so obviously it was just sending me tweets from that cunt. So
I think it's very funny that the account you accidentally set up against your will has already lasted longer than several of your genuine sort of established Twitter accounts.
Shall I start recording now that we're not talking about verboten material?
I've just started recording on the Skype recorder anyway.
Good.
Okay, I've started recording in Audacity as well then.
Yeah.
I've been recording on my end, but I mean, there was none of your stuff on it. You were good.
Yeah,
unless I want to blackmail you, maybe.
Patreon listeners just get to hear Yair go, oh man, to guy, not hear
That's
what
some serious stuff or whatever.
Yeah. All right, I'm recording on my side as well as doing an extra backup recording on Skype, just because you never know, but if you know, you know.
God,
all right,
sure you've got as much blackmail material as possible.
Yeah. Alright, I've got to do one of my legendary intros. So, yeah, drum roll, please. God knows this is all I've fucking got prepared for today. Vaguely.
Alright, we've got plenty going on to talk about, we'll be fine.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, welcome to Real Politik, everyone. A movie podcast where every week we pick a different film and talk about it. Sometimes the films will be related to left-wing politics, but mainly our focus is on the movies. No, just kidding. Welcome to Real Politik, a crack podcast where every week we smoke and review crack cocaine.
I just realised we've sort of gone on the exact same trajectory as, well, I say we, it was before I joined, as On Cinema. Starting out as a sincere podcast all about the movies, and then eventually just becoming
turning into a warped psychodrama.
Sometimes we mention movies.
Ranting about niche political hobby horses, albeit slightly different ones to the Tim Heidecker character.
Well, come on, we don't do the Mike Gapes impression that much. Usually it's just a reasonable, nice man. No, I'm just kidding, of course. This is Real Politik. This is a bee podcast about bees. We love bees here. We'll be talking about bees today. We'll be letting you know as any bee news comes in, any updates on the bee situation. But we'll be giving you bee news and reviews.
My grandma-in-law does a lot of beekeeping.
Really?
Just wanted to throw that out there.
Tell me all about that. Let's talk about that for the next 20 minutes.
Fun little hobby. I get some free honey.
That is great. I've been going through honey like a madman recently because I've been living the hashtag bee life for a start, but also just drinking a lot of like fruit teas and stuff. Anyway, let's get on with it. Yeah, so we'll let you know of any developments in the unfolding bee situation come in throughout the night. But before we get into introducing our panel for the best British panel show. First off, from the world of music, from one of America's great bands, the Beach Boys. Like, on a very serious note, there's been some tragic and heartbreaking news from that seemingly quite blighted by poor luck band. Yeah, Mike Love, it turns out, has not been diagnosed with dementia.
In that dynamic, Mike Love is the sort of Trump, the cold-hearted psycho to Brian Wilson's Biden.
Yeah, or the Tim to his Greg.
Yeah.
Arguably. Anyway, love obviously to Brian Wilson and the Wilson family because, yeah, he has got dementia, unfortunately, and is one of the greats and a pure and innocent soul. And this is a very pro Brian Wilson podcast. So, on to today's panel. Like the number one artist of the moment, Mr. Kanye Omari West, I have 3 gang leaders with me at all times. from the Welsh sheep rustling gang, the Manic Sheep Poachers. Took me a second to remember that one. I have the fucking renegade criminal Geraint. Just talking about the sheep stuff, of course. What, a hey guys or anything?
I'm gonna sing like a canary, I'm telling you.
And then we have from the Meyer Lansky bootlegging operation over in the United States, we have Yair. Hello, comrade.
Reporting live from my tunnel.
The tunnel banter. I'm sure that will be a recurring theme until everyone forgets about that story, which tends to happen with that.
Never forget.
And then finally, from across the pond, so to speak, no, not America, a different faraway land, we have the top Israeli influencer, OnlyFans model, and IDF infantry member, Gun Waifu, I believe.
That is exactly who you've got. Hello.
Have I got that right?
Correct.
Am I reading the cue cards correctly?
Fully correct. I've injected my lips with the blood of Palestinian children just for this podcast appearance.
Of course, I jest. It is returning Real Politik guest Lilah, formerly at Leech, not Gun Waifu.
Hello.
And what is your new at? Now,
so
Lilah?
my new at is Pale Blood Stasi. And I think I had this account before, so I think they technically can't get me for ban evasion because it's not a new account.
Yeah, fuck 'em.
So if anyone at Twitter HQ is listening, fuck you, it's a loophole, I win.
Well, it's sort of like a war on free speech these days. You kind of can't say anything. It's sort of powered by these people like Elon Musk, who just want to shut down the debates that we need to have.
Yeah, you can't even say that you'll kill all men these days without getting banned for glorifying violence on Twitter.com.
Friend of the show, Jules D, got one of his tweets automatically restricted for potential hate speech because it had the word cracker in it.
That's that South African mentality, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
So they've got the algorithm being against anti-whiteness. Just incredible. I'm trying to find the actual tweet here because it was so enough. Right. So he replied to some, like, I don't know, there's a big group conversation with about 5 people in it. He said, honestly, I don't really give a shit what insane cracker nonsense the F-150 owners of America get up to. And that automatically got violating our rules against hateful conduct.
What were they getting up to?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Driving trucks.
Now we'll never know
we'll never
because
know.
the woke stars are clamping down on it.
Damn. Yeah, it's just like what's happening to the white farmers in South Africa.
There is no more oppressed group than F-150 owners.
Yeah, genocide.
This is why Emerson Mnangagwa unfollowed us the first time. You're playing with fire.
That was such a... His online presence was so scattered at that point. There were like multiple Emerson Mnangagwa accounts. Either he unblocked us or one of the accounts was a fake. Maybe he never had a beef with us in the first place.
Probably the one that followed us in the first place.
Yeah, we've always been closely aligned with PF ZANU values. So, today, I don't know, I guess I figured, I came up with a few jokes for the intro, and then I figured, like, we can mostly just talk about the Labour Rochdale stuff for, like, 5 hours.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah.
Labour, Scottish...
Standard episode.
Labour Party conference is in Glasgow currently, Scottish Labour.
Scottish Labour, yeah. Yeah.
Scottish Labour Party conference. Absolutely no news from that, obviously. Just loads of pictures of Ian Murray looking like a cunt.
I mean, to be fair, the main news from it today does seem to be Anna Sarwar saying basically vote Scottish Labour in order to defeat Keir Starmer.
Yeah, well, he also said that his offer to people who'd supported independence was nothing, we don't care.
But nothing we don't care is actually a step in the right direction for Labour. Like that's kind of
can
what
you
Corbyn
explain?
got nobbled for trying to do.
Can you explain the Starmer thing, Geraint?
I thought you were going to say, can you explain to me, an Englishman, what Scotland is?
Can you explain to me Keir Starmer? Can you explain to me the appeal of this man? I do not understand it. No, just why Sarwar was positioning himself as some sort of alternative to Starmer, I guess.
Because there's various polls predicting various levels of Labour gains in the next election in Scotland, where at the moment they've 2 MPs now, don't they? Because they had one at the last general election, and then they got Michael Shanks in a by-election.
Awful.
But
fucking by-elections, man.
They're predicted to gain some seats next time, and obviously the press are crowing about it. And the thing is, there's no actual enthusiasm for Scottish Labour whatsoever. It's purely a function of the Tories becoming more hated, as in the rest of the UK. But in Scotland, it tends to be there's a lot of seats that are either SNP versus Labour or SNP versus the Tories, as you've tended to have.
But there's no Tory seats where Labour are the threat to the Tories.
Yeah.
So all the Tory seats in Scotland, the people who are in a quite close second place are the SNP. Whereas in most of the seats where Labour will do well, it's because Scottish Tories are just going to vote for them because they're unionists.
But I think
that's literally it.
Some of those seats you'll see the Tory vote collapse so badly that it'll just go 90% to Labour, and it'll be the exact same as before, but Labour instead of the Tories.
I'm conscious. No, sorry, Carrot. Finish your point.
Basically, after all the bad publicity that the SNP have got,
I am conscious, though. Yes.
Yeah, that's good to know, Jack. That is good to know. Please stay
I'm sentient.
Yeah. All the attacks on the SNP and that were police tents outside Nicola Sturgeon's house and all this nonsense. They're polling 1% less on aggregate.
Yeah.
I think it might be about 1.5% less now than they were in 2019 in the general election.
Yeah.
So any seats they lose will purely be Tory to Labour movement. Up here we won't really have whatever the Brexit Party have renamed themselves. They're getting 10-15%
we've
down
got
south.
Alba.
Yeah, the thing is, Alba have about 10 voters, and they're all main characters on Twitter.
Yeah, I think I follow some of them from the old Indie Ref days.
Oh dear.
Have they got an MP now, or just MSPs?
They did briefly, didn't they? Because
because
they were
they've
existing
had that
SNP
fucking
representatives who defected.
Did that mad Christian, what's her name, Kate Forbes?
Yeah, you're gonna have to narrow it down.
Did she join them?
No, she should do, but she hasn't.
She's a different kind of weirdo, I think, than
Wait, who did?
The Alba ones.
Was there? Sorry, I'll let.
I've
been watching too much on cinema. I'm taking all my hosting cues from Tim Heidecker.
That's good. Embrace it. Yeah. Look, we're just here to talk about the politics, and you keep interjecting with that.
So I've got these new
imagine being
vapes.
the Greg Turkington of politics would be terrifying, because you just know all the by-election result. In fact, that's just Luke Akehurst's old blog. It's
or that Charlie Mansell guy on Twitter. That's an obscure one. That's for the real heads.
There's actually quite a lot of Greg heads in politics. Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
But they have 2 MPs at the moment. They've got Kenny McCaskill and Neil Hanvey, who is an interesting character.
He looks like an egg.
Yeah.
True of so many British politicians.
Yeah, but I feel like Neil Hanvey really looks like an egg, because he's got a big double chin, and it means that his head is just perfectly. I need to find a picture of it.
Yeah, I guess
either eggs or gammon.
Or potatoes, because Ian Murray, he looks like a potato.
Yeah,
and
he looks like
Neil
an
Coyle
evil
does.
potato.
My
He's
favourite
trying to put together a real tasty breakfast.
My favourite
exactly. You got
was
all the
when
ingredients.
my favourite Neil Hanvey thing was when people found out that all his YouTube likes and stuff were public, and he had all sorts of UFO videos and David Icke stuff and all this on there.
Yeah, he's a real weirdo.
In fact, is it still live? Oh no, he's taking it down now. It's second only to when Greg put up his useful videos that was 1 hour long rant about feminism, and one that was tips for home cooking.
Yeah, just looking at this user now, with a notable head.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe Neil Hanvey. Notable head, definitely.
Lilah, is your Skype display picture Archie Woodrow in prison? It looks like
no,
Archie.
that's Chairman Gonzalo, you fake communist.
I thought
Leader
I've
of
never
the Shining
quite.
Path.
Look, you can't be again like if people just spend too much time thinking about politics. These people. But people like that are just losers, are just psychos. I'm out there living my life to the full. I don't have time. No,
Not
basically,
online at all.
I thought it was like some kind of Photoshop of Archie.
No, that's the chairman.
that
Archie's
doesn't
a
look much
trot,
like
and
Archie.
the chairman is a mammoth.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool. No, I like that then, because I like Archie, but I like to tease him about trot things and stuff like that. So that's cool. I'm happy that I made that mistake and to learn the true origin of that picture.
Yeah, unfortunately, the chairman died in prison in Peru for all of his crimes.
What were his...
waging an eternal people's war against the government didn't end well for him?
Yeah, but they also killed all them babies, and they actually did admit that they did it.
Yeah.
It wasn't a propaganda thing. When he was like, no, yeah, we did do that. The villagers were getting uppity.
Yeah,
Maoist
like
third
the
worldists. Yeah.
Yeah, but critical support for Chairman Gonzalo, leader of the Shining Path.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a lot of
Not all
it
bad
about
ideas.
There's a lot of it about drip. Because I can't get the picture any bigger. I think looking at the grey beard, it probably doesn't look as much like Archie up close.
It doesn't. He doesn't really look like Archie in any way I can fathom. But
Well, it looked like someone had photoshopped him into like the Mike Gapes, Ian Duncan Smith, Wes Streeting in prison photo shoot that has given joy to so many over the years.
No, it's without the beard. Actually, Chairman Gonzalo looks. Fuck, my brain has just fully died. Killers of the Flower Moon director. He looks a bit like
Scorsese.
Yeah, he looks a bit like Scorsese without the beard.
Yeah, Scorsese. He's got some good films like. He hasn't got any shit ones that you could name as a joke, like
But there is Shutter Island.
I like Shutter Island.
Yeah.
That. It's just,
I think
It's
famously
alright.
he hates it. He said that it was like a mistake.
He's wrong. It's
Yeah.
entertaining nonsense. I love. Everyone should check out Boxcar Bertha. I plugged it on the show before with Yair. But
Classic.
It's it's his second film, and it's just like a job for hire film he did for Roger Corman, and it's basically about this couple who, I don't know, they do like robberies and stuff. I can't remember. They like rob card games or something, and there's a trade union aspect to it, and basically at the end the lead character is crucified by scabs. It's like it combines like the radical left politics of the 60s and the early 70s with like Scorsese's Catholicism in a really satisfying way, and not many people like it, but it's really fun, and I'll probably put that in the Patreon episode because it's quite a low energy bit.
It's a good film recommendation, though.
There really is a similarity between Gonzalo and Scorsese.
Do you see what I mean? They have
Yeah.
a sort of similar kind of smile and vibe, I feel like.
Chairman Gonzalo, is that it?
Yeah, he was the leader of the
Chairman
Shining Path
Scorsese.
in Peru. He died not that long ago. I think it was in like 2022 or something.
Must have been pretty recent.
Well, you
I
know what
didn't
they say
hear
about killing
that.
babies. It's good for your health.
Fantastic.
There's an entire.
It wasn't him personally. It was his troops. But you know what I mean.
Yeah, but I'm sure they still like brought him back for adrenochrome and stuff. Okay, he doesn't look anything like Archie. Now I'm looking up close, especially not as an older man. But yeah, no, even in the picture that is your profile picture,
It's good to have that on the record, I think.
crazy thing to think. I mean, I do. Yeah, he's got quite a cool look though. Anyway. Yeah, should we talk about the Labour stuff, like the controversy?
Gorgeous George.
Gorgeous George, yeah. Because I
You
mean,
reckon he's gonna win it?
I don't know really. Let's just ignore the two by-elections that just happened because Labour won them, and I don't really want to I don't want to talk or think about that. But we can definitely talk about the Rochdale situation.
Yeah.
really funny.
It's fun. Like, I think a lot of people, probably even us to an extent, had forgotten that before Corbyn ran for leadership, before the left were a threat rather than a folk demon, Labour would just tear strips out of each other for fun, for obscure factional purposes, like 24/7 anyway. Like, look how long the entire media was fascinated between like the rival Blair and Brown camps, and look at how meaningful the actual distinctions in political views were between them. Like, they were real, but they were very narrow.
Yeah.
And even Brown, as probably the less loathsome of the two of them, his faction was all people like Ed Balls, Ian Austin, these sort of people who were like
Total
Tom
cunts.
Watson, you know, proper political Rottweiler type guys who destroy everyone for a lot. That wasn't even thinking of Ian Austin when I said Rottweiler there. Mean to draw that association, but it's funny, so we'll leave it in.
Yeah, the more we dive into the liberal monoculture, the more narrow, tiny differences have to get played up as actual significant.
Yeah, so we've seen, obviously, what's happened basically, for anyone that's not been following it. The entire by-election is like one of the most chaotic in modern history. The Greens early on disassociated themselves from their candidate for, I think, rabid pro-Israeli, anti-Palestinian views, if I remember rightly. They must be kicking themselves now, because it's like one of the sort of perfect storms for if they had a half-decent candidate to pick up some votes. So Labour had put forward a Muslim guy who had a long association with stuff like Prevent. He was very much like a sort of Labour right, get the vote out type of guy.
Yeah, he worked for Blair and Brown.
Yes, exactly, yeah. There's a long history of it. And meanwhile, there were obviously some cartoonish candidates. Obviously, Galloway's turned up as he does at any by-election he feels he can stir stuff up in. And he seems to be doing his usual act. And is it probably Google what the Brexit Party are now called, given I keep referring to them. Reform UK, yeah, I thought it was that. Reform UK have decided to stand Simon Danchuk, the disgraced former Labour MP who's disgraced
Once again,
in a number of ways.
How many Dan's gonna Dan Chuck?
It's bad because now Corbyn's not around, all the press are openly like, yeah, this guy's really bad.
Yeah, at the time it was really hard to get like agreement from anyone like outside the hard left that he was not a good guy who'd been accused of domestic abuse, and then the current accusation against him, which he did get deselected as a Labour candidate for, was that he had been sexting a 17-year-old, was it?
Yes, who was interested in working for him.
That's it. Yeah.
Weird guy anyway. So since then, with the already wacky field of candidates, Labour, their candidate was recorded saying some comments about October 7th, which I guess are in that grey area. He might have meant like intelligence failings by Netanyahu's government, but it
I just heard the
read
recording
as Netanyahu knew and let it happen.
Yeah.
But those remarks came out, and all the usual Labour right heads came out and were like, "Oh, clumsy comments, but I've known this man for a long time, and I know that he's fighting for everyone, and he'd make a great MP, and so on." And
the best one was Ed Balls, who was like, "I know him. He is not a Corbynite. He is not a hard left.
That wasn't about him. That wasn't about him."
Oh yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, fuck.
Loads of them came out.
Turn the Iranian national anthem down, guys. We'll get to that later.
Loads of them came out.
Put your nooses away.
Loads of them came out and either defended him or said, "Look, this is not ideal, but he's our candidate. We can't change it. We'll campaign."
Yeah, no,
for him
some of
and
my
we'll learn
faves,
from
like
this.
Mike Katz from the Jewish Labour Movement, like my heroes, like probably J.W. the Spa. Heidi Backram, very irrelevant person, but no, seriously, like all the influential people like Louise Ellman and Ruth Smeeth came out to defend him, two MPs who quit Labour over the issue of anti-Semitism, supposedly, by their own telling under Corbyn.
They then didn't go away in the press, so they ditched him. So there's no official Labour candidate in the election.
He's running now on an anti-Starmer ticket as well.
He's running on an anti-Starmer ticket. There was some talk that Labour locally would campaign for Simon Danchuk as the lesser of two evils, which is both wrong and insane. And from the meeting that the comments were made at, people then leaked further comments made by Graham Jones ex-MP. I call them all. I call them all disgraced former MPs. This guy was disgraced purely by being a bellend on Twitter. It's not quite the same as Simon Danchuk's disgrace, but
he is a big bellend. But can I just throw in a couple more Ashar Ali things? Like, firstly, his new poster. It's a big smiling picture of him reading him in front of Big Ben, and it says "Sacked by Starmer for speaking on Palestine. It's time to teach Starmer a lesson in Rochdale. Vote Ashar Ali." And I have this is totally like third-hand information. I'm not sure of the veracity. The person I heard it from seemed sure of its veracity. But apparently on the recording that Guido Fawkes seems to be releasing in daily minute-long chunks at the moment of the meeting where Ashar Ali and Graham Jones spoke on Palestine, in the words of this poster. Apparently, Ashar Ali called Starmer a war criminal, and that was what, according to what I have heard, this may be totally bogus. This may be like, again, to reference on cinema, Greg Turkington saying that The Hobbit is going to win Best Picture on their Oscar special. But from what I've heard, it was the criticism of Starmer rather than actually anything political that led to his ultimate. Although I'm sure that was another factor, but it would not surprise me if it was just like, okay, no, this guy can't be trusted to stay on message. And so whether or not you believe that, you have to admit, would be funny.
Would be very funny. So they ditched him, and then Graham Jones, a guy who was previously known for loving genocide so much that his nickname was Genocide Jones within the Labour Party, like
on the Labour right.
Pre-Corbyn. This was not just something we've made up because we don't like the guy. This was an existing thing that we're like,
I got this from like more reputable sources than that previous thing.
Than we normally talk to.
This one I was plugged in for it. That the previous thing, again, I'm getting that far down the chain. But that is totally 100% true, and again, very funny. And when you're listening to a podcast, you want them to tell you when something's funny, just to remind you. But in addition to that, Graham Jones is just like a legendary mad cunt on Twitter who famously did one of, probably if I was to collate my top 10 tweets of all time, I guess at number one it would be like Dave Davis talking about the woman with the big tits who had huge tits. But probably number two would be Graham Jones saying to Owen Jones in late 2016, so as long as it's Iran or ISIS, killing kids is okay with you, I'll stick to UN, you Iranian hangmen. I loved the surreal imagery of the typo that Owen Jones is multiple noose-wielding Iranian hangmen.
Whole squadron,
And just the casual, oh, right, so Owen Jones says it's okay when ISIS kills kids, does he? It's like, I'm sure he said that. Just the extremity of the allegation was very funny to me, and Owen Jones still references it a lot as well, because, again, it was very funny.
It was later in that same argument with Owen Jones was when he did the mad list that was listing all the people that agree with him, that was my mates and friends.
It's ordinary people like me, my mates and friends.
Real voters, our voters.
This is classic realpolitik law. This is the foundation of our whole thing that we've built. But Graham Jones was spitting some truth at this meeting. The facts were, facts, as Tom McDonald and Ben Shapiro would say. The facts were coming down hard and fast. We're saying concrete facts. Weren't they, Geraint?
They were. I've not got the quote to hand though. So
well, it included the words "fucking Israel." That's how he started the clip that Fawkes posted, and then he basically said that anyone who goes off to fight in the IDF should be prosecuted the same as people who went off to fight for ISIS. Which again,
true.
so true. I think he said that was the law when I don't believe it technically is.
No, it's not, but it fucking should be.
Yeah, exactly.
The loophole is that we don't, like, as a country, recognise Palestine as an independent state.
Yeah,
that's how it's not illegal, basically.
Exactly, but then Genocide Jones, he crossed the line and was in fact not pro-genocide enough with these comments for Starmer's Labour Party, so out on his fucking arse, like all that goodwill he built. And then I guess now I can mention Ed Balls in his you know, fucking daily client journalist state media fucking 1984 broadcast for the Starmer deep state fucking coup. He's on there like, Graham Jones is my friend, I've known him for years, he's not an Iranian hangman, he's not hard left, he's not a Corbynite, he's not in ISIS, and he's not anti-Israel, and he's not anti-Semitic. I love just like I don't love it, obviously, it's horrible, but like the logic that has been like built up in the last few years through this campaign of consent manufacturing in the British media, which is just like the more left wing and like pro equality and anti the sordid iniquities of the world you are, the more likely you are to be racist, which is just very contrary to like the understanding of the world that I've had my whole life. But by God, it has been successful.
It's clear how many of them have started at some point in the last few years believing their own bullshit, that anti-Semitism is a left-wing thing by definition and can only exist on the left, or it doesn't really matter if it's coming from a different place.
Yeah, and so, exactly. What Balls was saying, basically, is like, well, if he was a fucking Corbynista and wanted a greater redistribution of wealth than my wing of the Labour Party and more democracy within the party's internal processes, then I would fully believe that he was anti-Semitic for those comments. And yeah, that's a mad state to be. And yeah, it fucking pisses me off that slug Balls is just out there like every day, just sowing fucking the most poisonous politics of the Labour right in like the most banal light entertainment format. It's like worse than Piers Morgan, man.
Yeah, he is miserable.
Yeah, quite popular though. Well, there was that poll that we talked about before on the show where it was like Corbyn was the most popular politician in the country and Ed Balls was like pretty close behind.
Is it just because he is one of the few people where people know his name because he searched for himself on Twitter that one time? Like, I feel like that's probably it.
Yeah, that's probably
a
what
mix of
led
that
to
and
him getting on Strictly.
Him being on non-politics TV all the time.
He probably got on Strictly and stuff because he was a meme already. It wasn't for his thrilling personality he displayed in the political sphere, you know.
Mm-mm.
The thing is, during the Brown government, or the dying days of the Blair government and stuff like that, he was hated disproportionately beyond pretty much anyone else on that Labour front bench. You know, he would have been pretty close to the least popular politician relative to his level of fame. I don't think
he is a right fucking slug.
I don't think he's got more popular. I think the rehabilitation attempt has just sort of counterbalanced any less popular he would have got. Whereas everyone else has just become like,
So you think it's kind of an illusory thing, like the way that Starmer Labour are not getting more popular, the Tories are just getting less popular?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
A good parallel.
The world's
on my part.
The world's continued to get worse, so people hate your average current politician more.
Yeah, makes sense. I hate them.
I mean, there was a poll going around here that a random unnamed Democratic candidate was way more popular than Joe Biden or any other Democratic frontrunner.
Yeah,
totally. How's things going?
They do them sometimes here as well. Like they'll drop an unnamed One Nation conservative or an unnamed anti-immigration conservative, and they'll outpoll every actual like conservative politician.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you starting to ask?
I was going to ask what's going on with in America. I was going to ask you what's happening. Is Joe Biden still running for the presidency?
No, I think he dropped out, actually. Him and Trump are retiring.
He made way for you.
They're leaving it to the next generation.
your presidential campaign, which we did like a whole hour of semi-scripted material to promote and then never mentioned again on the show. But I'll bring up again on election night. Don't worry.
I need to get out and do some campaign shots or something. Yeah.
That's cool. I'll write some material and we'll do something when the actual US election is happening. Yeah. Well, I'll get FFF to write it. Actually.
Well, you got the only new thing going on here that I is really that border bill that the Democrats have been championing as wonderful bipartisanship. We get to keep out all the immigrants and at the same time fund genocides overseas. So that's compromise, right? That bill is now being rejected by Republicans in Congress because to give that to Biden would be too much of a political victory, even though it's a fucking awful bill full of awful shit with no redeeming qualities.
Yeah, has Texas not seceded yet? I thought last I heard on that was the plan.
They keep trying, right?
Yeah.
One of these days. That's what we reported on the show. That's the news that we broadcast, and I'm not sure. I don't know. Again, we'll have to confirm if that has transpired yet. But as I understand it
I don't think there's been any big updates.
I understood it to be a repeat of the scenario from that episode of Designated Survivor, where Kirkman then arrests the governor of Texas for treason. More music news, this time coming in from Israel. This is a good headline. You got a picture above the headline of 3 beloved international stars. Yeah, this headline is the sign of a healthy popular culture. Rap song calling for death of Dua Lipa, Bella Hadid and Mia Khalifa, quote, tops charts in Israel.
Oh, so that's why they got told they had to rewrite their Eurovision lyrics. I see.
Yeah, didn't they sneak in a load of psyops into the fucking lyrics? Well,
they got told last time. It might have been a mistranslation of the article actually, so maybe this is fake news. But last I saw,
no concrete facts. Concrete facts.
I'm saying concrete facts.
Last I saw, they had been told that they had to rewrite the lyrics of the song for the selection committee or whatever by the deadline, which I think is the 12th of March or something. So I really want somebody from the Eurovision Song Contest to drop the unredacted original lyrics of whatever Israel's song was.
Israel's version.
Yeah, exactly.
It's probably in Hebrew, isn't it, the song? So I'm not going to try and put it on.
I'm sure there's translations out.
Apparently it's like a drill kind of song. So shit that they're making in Chicago and London. That's real hardcore shit where they talk about the real murders they're doing and stuff. So it's like that, but the murders they're doing are IDF murders. It's not some gang turf war.
Oh God.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe one of these rappers has killed more people than King Von. The quest is on. Yeah, well,
this is a slightly old article I'm looking at. Is the song called Harbu Darbu?
What kind of a
that was at the top of the charts in December of last year, and I think it was some kind of military drill bullshit thing.
What kind of a Sims ass name?
I don't know if it was about Dua Lipa though. Oh no, I think that is the one. I think this is the song. Let me see if I can find some lyrics.
Harbu Darbu lyrics.
Oh yeah, okay, here we go. This Independent thing. This article is in the Independent 14 hours ago. So I get this has probably been the longest reigning #1 on the Israeli charts in history. It's just had an unconquered reign.
It's like their lad baby.
It's like a Thriller album or something. For the Eagles' greatest hits. There's no taking this shit off the top of the charts.
I can't find a translation of it anywhere.
I got it.
It's maybe too offensive.
A bunch of fucker rats getting out of the tunnel, acting like thugs. You idiots! Tunnel. I swear there will be no forgiveness. That's the first 2 lines. Who do you think you're coming here to yell Palestine for free at? Patui, you sons of Amalek. Hop bomb squad, left, right, left, how the whole country is in uniform from the Galilee to Eilat. Fighters Duvdavan and Magnav, Karkal, bared the loss. We've brought the whole army, and I swear there will be no forgiveness. Batui, you sons of Amalek, all units ready.
They should translate. They should do an English version, and they could get Ben Shapiro to do a guest verse on it. Now that he's officially a rapper.
Oh yeah,
he's got so much fun. I'll put some copyright-free drill music under your recitation of the lyrics there, Yair. Yeah,
beautiful stuff. I'm trying to find where they talk about killing pop stars. Let's see.
An Israeli rap duo have reportedly called for the deaths of Dua Lipa, Bella Hadid, and Mia Khalifa in a song which has shot to the top of the charts in Israel. The drill song, which artists Ness and Stiller say they recorded to be a war anthem, has split the country due to its support for military action in the Gaza Strip following the 7th of October Hamas attacks. Why that split Israel? Everyone there fucking supports it. I'm just saying what the polls are saying.
Yeah, you're not supposed to say it out loud.
It has racked, I'm a fearless truth teller. It has racked up over 18 million views on YouTube since it was released on November last year. And the name Harbu Darbu means raining hell on one's opponent in Hebrew slang.
Okay.
Apparently they've appropriated that from the Arabic words for mayhem and war strike.
Well,
with a middle finger up, the rappers call for the IDF to attack singer Dua Lipa, supermodel Bella Hadid, and former adult content creator Mia Khalifa. The song calls for the IDF to rain a storm and strike a list of individuals, including the women, who have all previously supported the Palestinian cause or called for a ceasefire. Nessia Levy, brackets Ness, 21, fucking hell, we're getting brainwashed young. One half of the duo celebrates Israeli airstrikes on Gaza, saying...
Wait, sorry, if he's only... When are you supposed to do your IDF service? Like, did he get written out of doing it because he was a rapper? Like, is that genuinely how, like, fucking lenient they are?
Because the way national service works in Israel, you don't strictly have to do direct military service. Like, if you're helping the Israeli state on the propaganda front, then
so this could be a state psyop, or maybe they are just like spitting bars and in the IDF at the same time.
Could be both.
Go back to Eurovision.
Be like when
again,
Elvis joined the army, and when America would just have celebrities doing some sort of junior radio job just so they could get pics of Elvis in the army.
Yeah. As John Lennon said, Elvis died when he joined the IDF.
The actual mention of the pop stars is not that exciting. It's just every dog's day will come, Bella Hadid, Dua Lipa, Mia Khalifa at the very end of the song.
Great bar. That's more fucking uninspiring than that Kanye verse on Vultures. Like, fucking hell.
Oh, they need a collab, man.
Yeah. Get together. That'll right his.
Yes, and Stilla and Yay.
He's made against the Jewish people, and get Tom McDonald and Ben Shapiro. Why not? No, I mentioned how, like, I don't know. It's just these guys smoke so much weed, but they're not medically capable of being in the IDF to any productive capacity. But I sent you this news story Yair, about how apparently Moroccan drug dealers are refusing to deal with Israeli dealers anymore. An Israeli cannabis dealer was saying that he had lost millions of shekels because the Moroccan drug gangs were boycotting him.
That's the real BDS right there.
Yeah, no, it's great. Everyone doing their bit. It all
you want to do a genocide, you don't get to get high. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Fuckers. Nessia Levy celebrates the airstrikes on Gaza, saying, "Get your ass ready, because here comes the Air Force. You can feel the tremors all the way to Tel Aviv." Meanwhile, Dor Sokora Stiller, who's 25, refers to the sons of Amalek, which, that was in the bit you read.
They mentioned over and over again.
Yeah. Soroka has defended the lyrics and says he has received death threats as a result. Oh,
poor small bean.
Yeah. They made us out to be a bunch of Jewish fascists who want to kill Arabs, he said in an interview with promoting his new hit song, We Want to Kill Arabs.
Yeah.
Brackets, Likud campaign song. We're representing the country, and this song raises morale, so we'll take the threats. It's worth it.
How brave.
These are more lyrics. All the IDF units are coming to do Harbu Darbu on their heads. Another X on the rifle, as every dog will get what's coming to him. Wait till we drop it like rain on you. Some kind of racial slur, I assume. It's like asterisk out. All who planned, supported, executed, and murdered, you're in trouble, you hear. You're in trouble, you hear. Very gangster.
They're not really beating the allegations with this, I feel like.
Nasrallah, Mohammed Daif, Afanieh, Abu Baklawa, Bella Hadid, Julie. Okay, so they do. This is extra funny. So they list like a bunch of people like Hassan Nasrallah from Hezbollah, Mohammed Daif, who is the leader of Hamas's Al Qassam brigades, and then they immediately go into listing Bella Hadid, Dua Lipa, and Mia Khalifa.
Yeah. Literal Hamas agents.
That was the same with that fucking stupid Israeli Lonely Island rap song from the point of view of the Hamas billionaires, where it went straight from Hamas to like Mia Khalifa. Oh no, it was the anti-Semite of the year poll.
That's it. Yes, yeah.
Where it was like Bella Hadid at number 1 and the leader of Hamas at number 2.
Yeah.
They've got everything proportionate. Well,
right. Even if you buy into their worldview, it's wild to put the actual leader of your declared enemy below some singer.
Yeah, just poisoned by Western popular culture.
Yeah, well, they know who's going to get the old clicks, right? The attention. If you call for the death of Bella Hadid, then, like, more people are going to be, like, outrageous.
Yeah. Rather than just, like, some Israeli song calls for the death of, like, one of the leaders of Hezbollah. You assume, you know?
Yeah.
It's just, like, some hard EDM beat, like building up to the big 2009 dubstep drop that I assume is like what 9 out of the 10 songs in the Israeli charts consist of. It's just like doom, kill the Hezbollah guys, kill the Hezbollah guys, kill the Hezbollah, like that.
Did they, when, I feel like, I'm trying to remember, but I think I was too young, really, maybe being like 10, 11 at the time, but were there loads of absolutely unhinged American rap songs about 9/11 and the Iraq War? I feel like there must have been, right?
Definitely about the Iraq War, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there's gotta be some.
I don't know about unhinged though. A lot of rappers were pretty against Bush, you know.
That's what I mean. Like, I just feel like it's not very like fucking cool to be on the same side as your president. Like,
yeah.
Counter culture.
That is absolutely true. That's what I was saying on the last episode where we talked about those Israeli sketches. I think the one after you were on when we returned to them, Lilah.
You're a real glutton for punishment on the Israeli sketch show.
The one that you assumed that I cancelled on because I mentioned that Yair was going to be like on a large amount of like experimental Alzheimer's medication. You assumed that, for some reason, that being on a large amount of like psychedelic drugs, you know, designed for people with rapidly deteriorating mental faculties meant that Yair would somehow be unable to do a podcast. No idea what. I was going to...
I was on point.
Yeah, no, you did fine. You did fine. It was good. Let me I'm Googling Immortal Technique 9/11. Because Immortal Technique will definitely have some tunes about 9/11. He's got a song called Bin Laden.
There we go.
Features Mos Def.
Maybe it's about Bin Laden being cool. Who knows?
Yeah. The song, whose lyrics argue that conspiracy theories about 9/11, such as George Bush and previous Republican administrations being largely responsible, was received critically, given its controversial chorus theme, Bush knocked down them towers. sampled from the song Why by Jadakiss.
Yeah, so it's not unhinged, it's just fine. Like,
Facts. Concrete facts.
yeah.
I'm saying concrete facts.
Immortal Technique raps, Bush funded Al-Qaeda. Now they blame the Muslim region. Even though bin Laden was a CIA tactician, they gave him billions of dollars and they funded his purpose. Fahrenheit 9/11, that's just scratching the surface.
All true. All true.
Yeah, he's like, Michael Moore makes some good points, but, really you should have a position to the left of Michael Moore. That's just that's beginner's stuff, you know what I mean?
This ain't no alien conspiracy theory, this shit is real. Written on a dollar underneath the Masonic seal.
I don't rap for dead presidents. I'd rather see the president dead. It's never been said, but I set precedents.
Bin Laden didn't blow up the projects. It was you, nigga. Tell the truth, nigga.
Bush knocked down the towers.
Tell the truth, nigga.
Bush knocked down the towers.
Tell the truth, nigga. Bin Laden didn't blow up the projects. It was you, nigga. Tell the truth,
City
nigga.
Records was 80 seconds away from the towers. Some cowards fought with the wrong building. They meant to hit ours.
In another line, Immortal Technique raps, and of course Saddam Hussein had chemical weapons. We sold him that shit after Ronald Reagan's election.
Yeah, so it just, I guess they just wouldn't allow it to be released if you tried to do anything vaguely critical in an Israeli rap. But it does seem like the youth need to be a bit more rebellious over there. I think that's the problem.
Well, yeah, that's the point I was making on that other episode, is you can't really have a functioning democracy where your satire show is just agreeing with the government. That's not really what the purpose of it is supposed to be, and it suggests that something is wrong. And it's not like their charts are full of anti-war protest songs. They're full of songs encouraging the war to certifiably become a full-on genocide.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They live in a Starship Troopers world there. It's full fash police state. Huge amounts of popular agreement with the war, even though they hate Netanyahu.
This is sick, by the way.
I don't know how that works.
Immortal Technique song, Bin Laden, featuring Mos Def and DJ Green Lantern. The 12-inch vinyl single also featured a remix by the same artists, adding Chuck D of Public Enemy and KRS-One. It also features 2 lines from Eminem. So you hear that, you're like, lazy cunt. Just what's even the point of him showing up? Here's what Eminem said. I don't rap for dead presidents. I'd rather see the president dead. It's never been said, but I set precedents. Yeah, so the last bit is a bit self-congratulatory, but still, that's if he's going to show up, then that's a pretty good way of doing it.
Decent bar there, yeah.
Oh, no, wait, that's one bit. He also says, Shady Records was 80 seconds away from the towers. Them cowards fucked with the wrong building. They're meant to hit ours from patiently waiting. I'm sure that's true targets of Al-Qaeda's wrath, or Bush's wrath, rather. Well, my favourite response to 9/11 from the world of hip-hop, it's Ghostface Killer on this Wu-Tang Clan song called... It's on the Iron Flag album. It's not called Facts, but it's called something to that effect. Oh, it's called Rules. Wu-Tang Rules lyrics, not the chords. I'm not going to do an acoustic guitar rendition. So Ghostface just steams into the song in the first verse, and he's just like, who the fuck knocked our buildings down? Who the man behind the World Trade Massacre? Step up now! Where the 4 planes at, huh? Is you insane, bitch? Fly that shit over my hood and get blown to bits. No disrespect. That's where I rest my head. He says no disrespect to Bin Laden. He's keeping his shit respectful.
Wasn't Bin Laden a big fan of Wu-Tang Clan?
Yeah, mate. Was it found on?
I feel like I have heard that.
Was it not? Yeah, was it not on his flash drive full of old Simpsons episodes and stuff?
I understand you got to rest yours true. Sorry.
No, it's just fine. Go ahead. I remember when that dropped, and I was just focusing too much on the fact that you could download Osama bin Laden's Animal Crossing save game.
Critical support for bin Laden's taste in media.
Yeah, that's most of the best lines from the Ghostface verse anyway. He just says, America, together we stand, divided we fall. Mr. Bush, sit down. I'm in charge of the war. War on Terror probably would have gone better if Ghostface Killer was in charge of the whole shit. What else can we talk about? What's been happening?
I feel like not much has been happening. I feel like the world is just in a sort of depressive slump of watching horrors unfold.
Yeah. Speaking of just like the combination of just like the sheer banality of fucking like celebrity culture combined with the unfolding, unutterable horror of what is happening. You know, sometimes even say like, you know, in an open air prison just a couple of miles by a big EDM festival or something. You know, that kind of contrast existing in the world. Nicole Lampert has said some of the top names in the entertainment industry come together to support Israel's continued inclusion in Eurovision.
Oh, I saw this, but I think I'd only heard of like one of the people.
Yeah, like, who the fuck is Helen Mirren? I've never heard of that fucking nobody. Yeah, you got Mirren, Liev Schreiber...
And then Boy George, right?
Yeah, Boy George. Someone made a funny tweet that was like, Boy George is very concerned about all the hostages Hamas are holding. Google Boy George hostage to find out more. Yeah, Liev Schreiber, pretty mid-actor, I think. Never really impressed me. Gene Simmons.
Oh, no.
Friend of Labour MP Christian Wakeford. That was really funny, wasn't it, when Gene Simmons, for some reason, visited Parliament and Christian Wakeford had to apologise for posing with him. It was, in fact, he only ended up apologising for, like, all Gene Simmons' comments about Muslims and stuff and not, like, all the rape accusations. Gene Simmons is just, like, a legendary piece of shit. Like, no one has ever said, like, oh, Gene Simmons, that's a good guy. Like, Gene Simmons says himself. He literally says himself that he doesn't have any friends. Like, he doesn't even, like, see the point of friends. Like, he says, well, I guess I like Paul Stanley, the other leader of KISS, but, like, we don't, like, hang out outside the band or anything. That's it. That's his closest friend.
Yeah, him and Christian Wakefield. That's all you need in life.
Wakeford as well. Yeah. And then you've got Scooter Braun, who, you know, many people noticed when Kanye said on his hit single Vultures, how I'm anti-Semitic, I just fucked a Jewish bitch. You know, an inarguable logic there. But not as many people noticed after that he says, I just fucked Scooter's bitch. Well, for anyone wondering who that Scooter was, here he is, Scooter Braun. Now, Scooter Braun is an impressive figure in popular culture because not only has he provoked such a apparently visceral hatred from Kanye West, but probably an even more visceral hatred from someone not always allied with Mr. West on every matter. Somebody called Taylor Swift. Scooter Braun is the cunt who owns all of Taylor Swift's masters, and that's why she's like re-recording all of her albums one by one. Just a legendary, like, shady music industry cunt.
Did he not start out because he managed Justin Bieber, who famously has done very well from being a child star and hasn't gone completely insane from being abused by the industry? Yeah,
something like that. Just everyone hates him, basically. Everyone hates him, apart from, like,
the one thing that Kanye stands and Swifties agree on.
Yeah, exactly. Finally, all these outcasts and freaks and weirdos can find an accepting home in the arms of the Zionist movement. It's like the you know, Peter Pan and the fucking Lost Souls or whatever. Just, Boy George, Julianne Margiles. The name.
I don't know who that is.
Sharon Osbourne, obviously, know who that is. Yeah, I don't know any of the other. Oh no, I do know a couple more people on this list. They weren't deemed to be of the state, the statue. They weren't deemed to be of the kind of stature. That's the word I was looking for. Of Scooter Braun. So they're not, their names aren't as big. But you've also got Diane Warren, who wrote loads of shitty power ballads. Like, I think she probably wrote, like, I Don't Want to Miss a Thing. That just seems like the kind of thing she'd write, like, you know, for Aerosmith and shit like that. And then you've got Tracy Ann Oberman as well. which is like really scraping the barrel. It's like, how do you get Americans on your list and Tracy Ann Oberman?
Yeah.
It's like, of all the people in America, all like the, you know, just like all the Jewish figures in the entertainment industry in America, just, you know, I'm not saying that in a stereotype way, just that there are more than appear on this fucking list, you know what I mean? And you have to resort to Tracy Ann Oberman.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going for the ones that appear on the British equivalent of that, like Tracy Ann Oberman, you know, you'd think that Eddie Marsan would be a more recognisable face in America, if not necessarily the name.
Oh, that's that pedo from that film.
From Deadpool, yeah.
My dad's not a pedo. What? He's in movies? Or
God, the numbers Rob got off that tweet.
Yeah, unreal. I
Incredible.
literally, I was like editing a podcast and was like procrastinating and decided to just post without any comment that Eddie Marsan interview from 2019, just because it's a classic. It's a popcorn classic. And then, yeah, Rob quote tweeted it, and then it just got like millions of views. It's unreal, and I love that, because it's like, I just imagine like millions of people just all like laughing at Eddie Marsan at the same time.
It's going
It's
mainstream.
so-
Marsanology. It's going to be the new pastime.
He's put in, and I know, like, I have, like, when it comes to Eddie Marsan in particular, I have this like nasty bullying streak where I want to like put him down for his lack of intellect, and you know, I don't want to do that to like a, you know, a working class autodidact who's pulled himself up by his bootstraps. But, well, I guess that's the problem. He does really think like he pulled himself up by his bootstraps and he earned his money, and the reason that he's well off now is because he's better than other working class people. He's not a barbarian who goes to the pub and then beats his fucking wife. The guy is just a cunt. He's just a fucking piece of shit. And it's just the fact that, like, at the end of the day, he's so pretentious. He really has an opinion of his own intellect that vastly dwarfs the actual contents of his brain, as evidenced by the classic video where he's just sitting there like explaining globalization, like, yeah, in the old days you had a cousin who dated a black man, and nowadays everyone's got a brother who's gay. It's like,
Was that the one where his co-stars just sort of sat there next to him, like, politely smiling?
yeah, and he's wearing a pro-EU t-shirt saying pulling out never works.
I think the world is changing at an incredible pace of change, and the pace is increasing. We can now send an email and it instantaneously go to China or America or New Zealand, and data is being transferred within a split second. Because data is being transferred at a split second, the world is changing at an incredible pace of change. People like me and Ivana, we can ride this wave of globalization. She flew in from LA last night, I flew in from London, I work in America, I live in the UK. We can ride the wave of globalization and benefit from it. But there's many other people, poorer people, who will be flooded by the wave of globalization. But the thing is that globalization and change, it isn't a conspiracy, it isn't a policy, it's an inevitability because of communication, because of the advances in the world.
I'm interested in science.
The challenge that we have to meet is how to enable as many people as possible to reap the benefits of globalization. But you can't stop globalization. It's like trying to turn off Google or turn off Apple or turn off communication. You can't.
I'm sorry.
And what populism will do will offer regressive solutions to this. It's kind of similar to Islamic fundamentalism. It's a rejection of the modern world, because the modern world is fast, it's changing, it's always challenging the orthodoxies that we live by. When we were young, somebody 2 streets away was gay, or somebody's uncle was transsexual, or my cousin's sister went out with a black guy. Now, everybody's got a brother or sister's gay, they've got a cousin who's transsexual, or a brother. The world is coming in, the reality is saying to people, the world is not what you thought it was. and you have to grow up.
And the whole film is specifically about like a blowhard centrist DJ chatting the sort of stuff he's doing. Incredible.
Yeah, and he's telling you all that stuff about how nowadays everybody's got a gay cousin who's black to, basically explain why the crushing onslaught of neoliberalism is just totally inevitable and you all have to give in to these market forces, which have done very well for him, as he points out in that clip and loves to point out. How do we even get on to talking about Eddie Marsan? Just fuck him. Fuck him, because he's a clown. It's a pretentious clown.
It's just one of those things, like, the longer we record, every 10 minutes it becomes exponentially more likely that we'll get sidetracked by talking about Marsan or Gabes or one of the regulars,
Fucking hell, my project stopped recording. So, MP3 Skype recorder on the file on this one, I guess.
Yeah, that's still working, yeah.
Oh, I'll try and record my own side again.
Mine's still running.
Yeah, you're recording the Skype meeting as well, so we've got like a backup to the backup. That's not.
It's this external hard drive. It's like the connection is kind of faulty with it. It just comes disconnected randomly, even when it's fairly still. I think I need to get there's a SD card slot in my laptop, so I think I need to get one in there to solve all these disk space issues once and for all.
Get
maybe
one enough to host the recording in process, and then you can move it to the hard drive afterwards.
Yeah, because I can't record this on my actual computer right now. Like, sorry, I can't.
If your recording has broken anyway, I probably do need to head off fairly soon.
Yeah, no worries. Like I said, I haven't lost the recording, so I have lost my recording, but we have a recording. We have two recordings, in fact, because I'm recording on Skype itself that give you some indication of. That provide some record of the things that I was saying on throughout tonight's festivities. But Lilah, maybe chat for a few more minutes, and then guys, if you wanted to maybe get a little bit more down, just so we've got more stuff for Patreon, would that work for you?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I can keep going.
Should be fine for me.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, Lilah, just let us know when you need to split.
Yeah, I should probably head off fairly soon because I need to do some stuff and then head to bed early because we're doing another day for Palestine tomorrow.
Nice.
Sorry, I wasn't laughing at that. I think that's great. I was laughing.
You pathetic protester.
To be honest, it does feel a bit like banging your head up against a brick wall, but what can you do?
No, I was laughing at the fact that, that guy Eric Alper who posts like music clickbait tweets on Twitter, on X. So it's just like, what are your favourite music? Basically everything he posts is just a lesser version of that classic Michael Caine tweet. By the way, it seems like Michael Caine's grandchildren or something have told him that people enjoy his tweets and he's getting more into Twitter. And I'm enjoying it for now, but I could see potentially at some point...
Might get played out.
It gets a bit played out unless he develops the flair for tweeting for Dave Davis displays, for example. Anyway, Eric Alper, who apparently is a real person who has a radio show on Sirius XM, is now promoting a rare hour-long sit-down with former music journalist turned activist fighting anti-Semitism on social media. Eve Barlow, one of the great Scots people, am I right?
Another one.
Well, that's great, isn't it?
It's a fact that Glasgow is to blame for both her and for Ben Freeman.
That guy.
The forehead guy.
Damn.
Yeah.
Who is I confuse him with Ben Dreyfus, who's like the fail son of Richard
He's
Dreyfuss.
definitely not from Glasgow.
No, he's American. And then also I kind of confuse both of them with the Goldsmith brothers, even though I know full well the whole sorry story of how Ben Goldsmith's wife left him for J Electronica.
So Jack gets Jewish people confused a lot, right? Get it? Okay, yeah.
They all look like Geraint and Yair, like just these two guys with their inscrutable Jewish names. Like I just yeah, that's great, isn't it? I guess that's a nice Scottish thing to like send Lilah off with.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave because I'm so horrendously offended that you would tarnish my people like this.
It's not a real recording unless you feel just slightly tainted by the end of it. If you go away from it feeling good, we're fucked up somewhere.
Yeah.
That's not what we're about here in the Real Politics podcast.
Unending horrors only.
Yeah.
Unending horrors and deep offence.
Yeah. What has Eve Barlow been up to recently? I haven't seen much about...
She went out there for a while. Some Christian charity hired her to do...
oh my god.
One of the ones Israel hasn't bombed.
But like, mods please check, because I don't look too much into the specifics of stuff like that. She's just a depressing character. But she was... I think she's been the usual, like, I'm telling my story, and her story is just like Palestinians aren't people.
She's currently going on a weird, like, her last tweet was her retweeting Meghan McCain doing a weird sort of big pharma we hate Ozempic push, which seems okay.
Maybe she's realised that, like, if public opinion is turning...
Oh, no, wait, and then just before that, it's her retweeting Ben Freeman.
yeah. Other than that, it's just all Zionist stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. The latest big music news to break our third huge music story of the night. We're breaking the story right now. The tweet's maybe 22 hours old, but I'm sure nobody else has mentioned this on a podcast or any other form of media yet. The white reggae singer, is that right? White Jewish reggae artist, Mattis Yahoo. Has had to cancel a couple of gigs because the venue staff refused to work there due to his comments in favour of is basically what happened to like fascist prick Douglas Murray in London recently because of his pro-Israel comments. And yeah, Eve Barlow is up in arms about this, obviously.
Matt, I'm going to give you this and yet another nugget of potentially fake news.
I'm saying concrete facts.
Which is
the best kind.
I'm fairly sure that a few years ago, when all of the like COVID vaccine hysteria was at its peak, Mattis Yahoo was like at an event that was like a fundraising gig for people who were like anti-vax, we love ivermectin people. But then I was looking into this today and I literally couldn't find anything about it. So either this was an insane dream I have mixed him up with a different Zionist white reggae guy, because surely there's loads, or he has used the influence of the Israeli lobby to wipe all of that from the internet. You can pick one of those three. You can pick one of those three for what's true.
No. Mattis Yahoo was at the January 6th riots. That was a joke. He was not. Please do. We don't want any legal issues with Matt and Yahoo. Allegedly. According to Yair just now, your fellow American citizen, please aim your legal queries his way.
Free speech and all that.
Long, boring ass statement from Mattis Yahoo talking about this. Who, by the way, is like one of the worst musical artists I've ever heard. I feel
he has awful vibes, doesn't he?
Yeah, I feel like he really falls into that category of like music for people who don't like music. It's like, oh, reggae, yeah, I love reggae, like Bob Marley's Don't Worry, Be Happy, you know, people like that. But they don't actually like, reggae is like too black for them and stuff, so they need a guy like Mattis Yahoo who can just do some like novelty shit, where it's kind of a simulacrum of like the actual music.
He kind of reminds me of like a Jewish reggae version of Mumford & Sons.
Oh God!
Like,
I mean,
all
I've
vibes.
never listened to his music, but like
bad vibes.
Yeah. Anyway, I need to head off, but yeah, I'm leaving you with that libel.
That is good. No, thank you. In fact, just breaking news. I have obtained intelligence that Mattis Yahoo was present on flight 93 on September the 11th, 2001, and was not a passenger who had booked a ticket on the plane. That's all I'll say.
He was in a suitcase.
Yeah. No. My source has just texted me. He's got some wires crossed. That was Keir Starmer who was responsible for the September the 11th attacks. With all other issues in the world and all my personal failings. Lilah, it's been fantastic to have you on the show again.
Thank you for having me back. Thank you for having me back for a crumb of Scott Paul, my favourite.
It's great. Like we had a great vibe the first time. I was like, when we vibe with a host, because we don't have many guests, we don't have many friends, we don't have many people who like us or want to share a platform with us. We always want to recapture that magic, and I believe we have done just that today. So thank you.
This time we didn't make you watch any terrible comedy, which I'm also grateful to Jack for not showing me this time.
I didn't even stick on the Israeli drill banger. I managed to restrain myself from doing
Well, there's always next time. And there's still the treats of possible Israeli Eurovision entry await us.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Well, yeah, thanks for coming on again, Lilah. I hope that you have a good time at the Palestine demo tomorrow, and a lot of people get out on the streets and spread the good word.
Good luck.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. All right, well, solidarity. Thanks for having me.
Peace and love. Oh, plug your new account one more time.
Oh, yeah, it's Pale Blood Stasi. You'll find me.
Excellent. All right, once again, peace and love.
Bye. Oops.
More peace and love, just in case you haven't managed to get off the call yet. Yeah. That's one of the greatest videos of all time, Ringo Starr. Like, I'm warning you with peace and love.
It's got so much use to it.
This is a serious message to everybody watching my update right now. Peace and love, peace and love. I want to tell you, please, after the 20th of October, do not send fan mail to any address that you have. Nothing will be signed after the 20th of October. If that has a date on the envelope, it's going to be tossed. I'm warning you with peace and love, but I have too much to do. So no more fan mail. Thank you. And no objects to be signed. Nothing. Anyway, peace and love, peace and love.
For some reason, again, to bring Kanye into it, because, he sampled on a song called Carnival off the new album. I think it was an Ozzy solo performance of Black Sabbath's Iron Man in 1983. And then when he played this at one of his big listening parties in the stadium, where he had 80,000 people all chanting, "How I'm anti-Semitic, I just fucked a Jewish bitch," in an uncomfortably Nurembergian manner. He played that song, and it had the the Iron Man riff in it. I think some part of the riff. And Ozzy Osbourne posted a statement that did not sound like it was written in the voice of Ozzy Osbourne, and then Sharon Osbourne posted an additional statement reiterating what he said. And I don't know why, for some reason on Twitter, she said Kanye fucked with the wrong Jew, but then she changed it to fuck with the wrong dude, and that just confused me. I wasn't sure why was she, because she is Jewish, but Ozzy is a dude, so these two things apply to different ones of them. So I was confused as to how they could be interchangeable in the statement. Anyway, Kanye got around the sampling issue by he sampled his own song "Hell of a Life," which samples Iron Man. So he'd already cleared the sample in 2010, so he didn't have to do it again. So me and Yair were talking about the Vultures record earlier. I feel like maybe that's something that me and him should get into on just the two of us at a later date.
Yeah, can do.
Yeah, when we do our album of the year list and rank it number one.
To Pete Kanye, better than anything that's come before, clearly.
Yeah. Well, look, I do quite like it, but let's leave that aside for a minute.
It might be better than Donda.
Beautiful big titty butt naked women just don't fall out of the sky,
That was pretty funny.
Well, yeah. No. I don't want to repeat.
It's so hard to follow him with his just constant swinging from "I'm the most Christian dude ever" and marriage is awesome to oh yeah, I fuck 1,000 bitches, and including Jews, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy to go from like not having any swearing on the last album to just like every lyric just being about fucking and sucking on this record. It's funny that it's like his most braggadocious, least contrite, least introspective album ever, and he's still rapping about like having gout and his dick not working. Anyway, well, that's just a sneak preview of our Vulture's thoughts, which I'm sure we both have more of.
A bunch of fucker rats getting out of the tunnel, acting like thugs, you idiots. Tunnel. I swear there will be no forgiveness. Who do you think you're coming here to yell Palestine for free at? Tui, you sons of Amalek. Hop bomb squad. Left, right, left, how the whole country is in uniform from the Galilee to Eilat. Fighters Duvdavan and Magnav, Karkal, Berdalas. We've brought the whole army, and I swear there will be no forgiveness. Batui, you sons of Amalek, all units ready. Every dog's day will come, Bella Hadid, Dua Lipa, Mia Khalifa.
Get your ass ready, because here comes the Air Force. You can feel the tremors all the way to Tel Aviv. All the IDF units are coming to do Harbu Darbu on their heads. Another X on the rifle, as every dog will get what's coming to him. Wait till we drop it like rain on you. Some kind of racial slur, I assume. It's like asterisk out. All who planned, supported, executed, and murdered, you're in trouble, you hear? you're in trouble, you hear? Nasrallah, Mohammed Daif, Hanye, Abu Baklawa, Bella Hadid.
It's tech, it's exciting, it's young people, it's crowdsourcing.